Once again, I fucked up. Alright, there we go. Alright, Jakes. Or Kaylee, sorry. We've got new orders in today from Command. Essentially what we're doing is we've just, since we've taken over control, we're just sweeping the place. I actually have to go and deal with some stuff down over at the chapel, so you're more than welcome to join me. But yeah. So just keep out on patrol, make sure everything's looking alright. I'm gonna go check the wall first. If you want to check that western portion, I'll check the east.
Copy that.
Sounds good.
The other side's all clear.
Copy that. Stay on the wall for now. That'll be our best spot.
Netharia is under Makovian military occupation until such time that a new government is established.
Aheen, chapel, now.
Huh? What the heck is going on? Netharia is under Makovian military. How long was I gone? Alright. Let's head to the... check everything over real quick. Nothing's missing.
No, it's a weird place to put a church when there's constant screaming of the dying zombies and a rushing of water.
So yeah, I'm a gamer.
Stables look good. Hi George, how you doing? Alright. Let's go check. See if my mob farm's doing good. Land's on the wrong place. Oh, wow. Alright, well. Awesome. Alright, time to go check the cathedral.
Empress. We've been awaiting your return.
Okay, what's with the military occupation here?
Well, just making sure everything, goes according to plan. Making sure that
What plan?
Netharia doesn't fall.
What plan?
Like I said, making sure Netharia doesn't fall. I mean, come on. With Noravad collapsing like it did, can't be too sure nowadays, can we?
I guess. Did Noravad actually fall? I just heard there's conflict. How long have I been out? Like, out away?
A while. A lot's happened, actually. But no time for talk. So, what's this? I don't remember seeing this last time I was over here.
You mean the cathedral?
Yes, this area that we're standing in right now.
It's something dedicated to my people.
That flag. That's something I haven't seen in a long time.
What do you mean?
This flag was the flag that was planted on my family's grave 600 years ago.
600?
A lot older than you think.
I guess, but what does that have to do with this? Like, okay, my people were sent away from, like, we hid from everything that happened here. We were in trouble.
You really think that?
Kill you? Yes.
Kill me? Well, I wasn't murdered. But the people who I served in our community were murdered under this very flag that you've hung up so elegantly.
There's no way. We ran and hid. Not the other way around.
You're lying to yourself, Empress.
I am not.
What proof do you have that you ran away, other than something that your mother or your father told you?
I don't know. I just learned it.
From who?
The elders.
Right. The elders. And where did the elders learn it from?
They saw it firsthand.
Saw what? You being driven back, the hellhole that you guys came out of?
Well, they ran. We were in danger. That's why we hid.
Quite the opposite, Empress.
And what do you mean by that?
How many of me do you see in this world?
Not a lot. Just you.
And why do you think that is?
Okay, I don't understand. I don't understand. What are you going at this?
Your people have terrorized this land for far too long. And this, when we come in to make sure that everything runs smoothly, we see that flag. Do you understand the death toll that flag has seen?
No, I do not. I've only seen a world of brimstone and fire. You think I know?
Of course you wouldn't.
So, why now? Why of all times are you doing this?
What do you mean? Is this not speaking up for one's own, I believe you people call it beliefs?
You just keep my people's name out of your mouth. You don't know anything.
Keep the blades out of my own people's backs next time, Empress.
What do you mean next time? There wasn't a before.
There was. Again,
There wasn't.
why do you think that there isn't any more of me?
So,
My
you're
family
just-
were gifted 12 Servobot 6ERs.
You're just a machine. Why?
I'm just a machine?
Time gets to you. Time gets to everybody.
No, I'm not simply a machine. And the lives that you people took were simply not machines, Empress.
What lives? What is going? Like, what do you mean?
A small community was raided by the Marauders, united under this flag.
They're just bringing us back to like this merry-go-round of lies.
Playing merry-go-round of lies.
Wait. How do you know my mother's song? Okay, answer me this now. How do you know my mother's song? Sixer, shut it off. How do you know my mother's song?
It's quite simple. That was the song that one of our masters played for us many of times.
Your master? Okay. This is getting weird. It's just too much. You know my mother's song that apparently was played to you.
I mean, how couldn't I hear it? Master had quite the extravagant way of playing her music.
What did she play?
Well, that song. On pianos, organs, I remember there were multiple times where she would go away for a couple days, a couple weeks, and she would perform those songs for others.
My mother talked of the day we fled. We were going to a concert and Dad had to stay behind. Oh, God. How? Just how? Mom and I fled, and Dad didn't make it to the portal. That's all I know. But now you're telling me you know them.
Well,
But
yes.
I don't recognize you. They never talked about you. They never talked about any of you.
Well, to be fair, my memory is a little hazy after being stuck in the snow for 600 some odd years, if I remember correctly, but I do remember both of them. They had a few children, and only I called her mother, but only mother and one escaped. Everyone else was slaughtered.
What family did you serve?
It was a particularly well-off family. I mean, all the signs lead to saying that we're not so different after all.
No. There's no way. You have to be lying. You have to have some kind of memory card that, I don't know, does some stupid shit, There's no way.
In the past few months, I've tried to run many data searches on what happened. But seeing as most of my parts are unavailable and not easy to craft, it's hard.
So why tell me this now?
Because that flag, it's a symbol of death and hatred and so many horrible things that happened.
I just can't believe you. The elders told of us running from danger, and now you're telling me we're responsible for that danger? I just can't wrap my head around it.
Empress, I'm not saying that you yourself are responsible for that. I am just saying that this flag, many years ago, was the cause of hurt between a band of, well, I could go on, but I won't bore you, of essentially raiders who killed, brutalized, maimed, and ruined whole civilizations.
I'm waving it, I guess. That's what you're trying to get at?
Hmm?
And now this flag is being flown again, and that's why you're mad?
Correct.
This... Oof. This is just too much information. I just can't... We didn't do this. We didn't do any of this. Then
If you didn't
what's
do any of this, then where is your father? or your
not here
brothers,
anymore.
or your sisters, or the 11 other different servitude bots that were gifted to our family.
I don't know. I didn't know I had siblings. I didn't know any of this.
Well, you were young. I will give you that.
All I have is a hazy memory of losing my violin. And my instruments, my ocarina, everything. My flute. You have not found it since. It did not go with me through the portal. I still can't find it today. Everything was just too fast. And then I don't remember any of it. Just a blur.
Well,
Everybody was panicked.
high stress situations can lead to blurred memories and things that you can't fully comprehend.
I need to get out of here. I need to. Why is she here?
She's here on her own volition.
Volition. Practically eavesdropping on this.
She's not eavesdropping. Aheen, please, put the weapon away. She's been helping
you're
me
not
run your
human?
nation.
Guess you caught me there. I'm not.
Interesting.
What will you use against that?
The fact that you are not human. The fact that Sixer is a robot. The fact that I'm not human.
So we're all just playing a game of humans.
Not much of a game. More of a necessity for our survival.
Necessity.
Well, look at it, Empress. Aheen over here is, I believe the humans used to say, a fish out of water. It just made sense to continue on and see what we could find.
The non-human and the non-human and robot in the same room. So what are you guys
We
gonna do
don't
now?
need to be enemies.
Like I said, Empress, we may not be as different as we first think.
So you're just saying just side with you now?
No, not at all. All we're saying is that, well, at least all I'm saying is that, we do as much as we can for fellow nations, even though it doesn't seem like it.
Definitely doesn't seem like it from your end.
What do you mean?
The whatever you call it, the weapon thing, the wall, like.
How many hundreds of ingots of gold have we donated to other countries that have been stripped away from us in a civil war? What other countries do you see anywhere else guaranteeing independence of other countries? What other countries do you see sitting here in this room currently today making sure that your country stays stable while you decided to run off and chase the incompetent leader of Noravad?
I had to follow him. I have to find my people, okay?
Your people are gone. You are a remnant of what was.
There has to be somebody out there. There's so many portals. Boone was logging them for a reason. There has to be more of me somewhere.
Empress, please. Our kind was slaughtered years ago. You were merely taken in.
Taken in?
Maybe there are more of your people out there that we don't know about. But chasing after
False probables.
misspellings and false probabilities doesn't change the fact that you have a responsibility here. Your people need you. And if there are others like you, they will find you. You're not exactly someone who sits and takes things. You put yourself out there. If there are others, they will have heard about you, and they will find you here. But if there isn't, there's no point in chasing after something you won't find and leaving your people.
I don't want to be alone.
And you aren't.
How am I not? Just some.
Well, just because all of your kind have been murdered off? Welcome to it.
There had to have been some survivors. You were all thrown through the portal and just...
No, you... No. All of them murdered.
How do you
Gone.
know this?
I watched it happen.
What?
I was lucky enough that I wasn't where they were.
What do you mean?
I was working security duty that day.
Security. What do you mean? Just security? For
Making
what?
sure everything was fine. If we're continuing with the... What is the word? If we're continuing the theory that you and I aren't so different. Well, you and Mother had went to Mother's recital. I was working security. Father was all alone. You knew how old he was getting. It wasn't like he could continue much longer, especially with the rate that he was going. You know how he enjoyed to drink. I distinctly very clearly remember cleaning his cellar of his various alcohols and rums and meads and beers and vodkas. Empress, how do you think I managed to make a vodka that good? With no prior knowledge.
I don't remember much again. It's too hazy.
Anyway. As Mother was coming home, that's when they launched their attack. I was sitting in a guard tower, not far off from the property. Mother had just stepped out of her mode of transportation, and that was when it happened. The first portal arose. It was at that point where all of us kicked into, as the humans would say, kicked into high gear, and we did what we needed to do and did what we could. As I was ordered to not leave my post, I watched the other 11 servobots of my designation be murdered. I watched 24 of the more economy class servobots also brutally dismantled and maimed. I did everything I could to protect Father, but in the end there were too many of them.
Too many of who?
The ones who united under that flag. Where do you think I got that? Where do you think that this came from?
It's a thing of peace.
No, it never was. What your ancestors and your quote-unquote elders have taught you is that that is a symbol of peace. Empress, I can guarantee you, it is not a symbol of peace. Aheen, you had something similar happen, correct?
Not from this world, as
Well.
I'm sure you know. At least at this point. I was a diplomat sent by my father. I failed at my mission. It was doomed to start, but we wanted to at least try. On my way back, we were ambushed by pirates. It happened so fast that we weren't able to protect ourselves.
Aheen, how many crew did you have on your ship?
Hundreds, if not thousands. It was a big military vessel.
Her own kind.
I ran to the escape pod and jettisoned right before the ship exploded.
Wait, did you just say her own kind?
Of course.
We were hired, like, in space with the stars?
We were not Empress, but Aheen here comes from a land farther than I can even comprehend. He's not from this world, nor from this galaxy.
First thing I saw when I first came out of the portal was the stars. After seeing nothing but a red ceiling with some dim lights. And you touched those?
Not just one, but hundreds. I'm just like this realm has its star that gives it light. There are many others. Planets.
Solar systems.
I have visited many planets in many solar systems, on many different stars.
And now we're just all here. The limbo, I'm guessing.
I guess that's one way of calling it.
So what now?
Well, I'm not exactly sure.
Guess
No one knows what the future holds. But what I do know is that we have a unique opportunity to write our own futures. Right here. Right now.
do what are futures? Me still be afraid of your nation?
as Sixer clearly pointed out earlier, we aren't the bad guys. What other nations have helped other nations, donated gold, and guaranteed the independence of the smaller nations? We aren't the bad guys. We are not the ones you need to fear.
Hmm.
Who? Here to fear anyone. It's the incompetent leaders. And those small mercenary groups, to be completely honest. They have no bearing on what is right for the people.
You're saying there might be still Empyreans out there just waiting to strike? Is that what you're saying?
I wouldn't call them Empyreans, but there's a very old famous saying. If we do not learn from the mistakes made in history, we're bound to repeat them. And the way it stands, we are currently repeating what happened before even the war that happened between people who banded under that flag and our people.
So by doing all this, has just repeated everything.
Well, with the way it stands, the only nation that is really, truly capable of protecting itself and others is Makovia.
And why is that? Why did you think you have every right to tell other nations that oh hey, by the way, no weapons for you unless you want to go through us?
Because we're the only goddamn ones who can stop it.
Right.
I don't know about you, but I wouldn't like to see you flee through another portal again, Empress. To be cast back into that dark underworld that you came from.
I don't hope to go back there, but if I do, I must. And I'll make sure to break that portal behind myself and never be seen again.
Humans have such good sayings. I believe the correct terminology here would be your funeral. Because they have access to that. I don't know if you've been keeping up, but with Noravad on the brink of total and utter collapse, their leader missing, and these rogue nations, you could call them, doing God knows what. I mean, hell, everyone's got access to the Nether nowadays.
Honestly,
You're gonna die either way.
I would.
Is that worth it to you? To become a martyr for a civilization who's been extinct for some, 400 some years here? That we know of? There hasn't been an Atharian that's ever crossed over the border until just recently. And it's been you.
Not on Macobian lands.
Yeah, about that.
I see it from a distance. It's gone.
Empress, might I remind you that I've been around for, if not longer than you have. I've seen many things happen. I've seen nations go from trade allies and allies in wars so close to murdering each other that they're on the brink of murdering their own world. Destroying everything that they've worked for. 2,000 years of progress made in a single key turn and a single button press.
But how do you know that I was... How do you have an idea that I was there? And now I'm here, still, and it's been 600 years.
That hair
From
color,
what you're saying.
it's natural to you. Am I wrong?
No. You're not wrong.
Mother had the same color. Had a gorgeous royal purple sheen to it. Father would always compliment her on it.
Still don't understand how 600 years here is only few there. You were rusting and everything, and I was growing up. I don't understand.
There were countless groups and studies made about where you had went to. I happened to be one of the lucky drones who ended up going out there. You see, my conscious is connected to a central neural interface that at any point could be linked to a new body. I've been around for more than just 600 years. The 6th revision, the 6ER, was vastly ahead of its time and still is ahead of its time even today.
Point, I wish for you to leave Nefaria. Now.
And what are you going to do to enforce that? Are we not having a civil conversation? Is the truth too much to handle?
It's just... leave. I don't want to hear this anymore.
Very well. Aheen, let us go. I just know Mother would be very disappointed. Aheen, continue, please. I'll worry about the cleanup.